Welcome, Kapil, to this candid conversation. Good morning. Well, all of us know Kapil Dev. Kapil Dev is an icon, not for cricket, but for the country. There are people whose fame goes beyond their specialties. If his specialty is sports or cricket, he is way beyond that. And we always think of 1983 World Cup and all those things, but there's much more to that. There is also the Wisden Indian cricketer of the century. I mean, that is something that is unbelievable given the stars that we've had in the last few years. That is a remarkable achievement, recognition of achievement, rather. So Kapil is truly a high achiever, and I don't have to go into cricketing details. I mean, everyone in India knows, every cricket fan knows everything about him. Maybe sometimes they know statistics better than he does. So, but today is
Oh,
an
I don't know
important.
nothing. I don't know nothing. Because one thing I learn in my life is to move on.
Yes.
I seldom talk about cricket because I say, no, you have to move on. There is much more. If somebody in my shoes, then you have to understand, I don't want to live with the life what I did. In my house also, where you've been, there is no photographs, there is no trophies. Yeah, one corner there is a bat and a trophy, otherwise in my house. And I always says that I don't want to see myself on those, time, and I can only relish that as I go and talk to the people. Like, do you remember your school days? Yes, but you don't live with that school days.
So I think that's
You move
remarkable.
on in
That's
life. Yeah,
yes,
you have
yes.
to move on in life, and it's not only what you achieve, and you keep on saying, "Ki, this is what I achieved." You done. It's
So
okay. You otherwise, my life can be very tough and difficult. I have seen a lot of my heroes, even a lot of my cricketers. You go to their house, and it's like a museum. Their trophy, you want to have few special things, it's fine, but I don't like to see myself in my house all the time what I achieved. That's
I've
here.
noticed that. I've noticed that, Kapil. Very true. And that's how I think one keeps one's sanity and one keeps grounded. That is one of your real special traits. But I'll put in a line here. Today is a very special day, Kapil. Today is Doctor's Day. Because it is the birthday of Dr. Bidhan Chandra Roy.
Kenny,
So
it's every day is a doctor's day, not today.
thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that. But this is also a special year because doctors are actually, they're always struggling. They're doing well, they're struggling, whatever, like everybody else. But this time they are definitely struggling more because for the first time, and I think the fundamental difference is not the hard work, doctors are used to that, not the service, doctors are used to that, but I think the fact that for the first time in my memory at least, doctors are themselves feeling at risk. So when you treat a serious cardiac patient or serious cancer patient, you're not worried about yourself, you're worried about the patient. Now there is an added worry. If you do something wrong, you will get infected, your family, your other patients. So there is a huge amount of stress. This is unusual pandemic has brought upon all of us, and all of us are facing. Doctors are facing in a different way, and we all facing. So everyone thinks of Kapil Dev as a genius, and he could just go out and play his natural game. People don't realize the adversities that so-called geniuses have to undergo to achieve what they did. So I will take you through a few steps, and maybe you're dealing with adversity because see, although you were not dealing with lives, you were dealing with a billion heartbeats, you were dealing with a billion expectations. So there was a tremendous responsibility on you at that point. So let's go a little bit, one by one, into things that I think are interesting, but you can always cut me off and say what you feel like.
No, no,
So
no.
so 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 selection into the at 24 you were already a star, right? When all of us were, I was doing my MD that time. I'm exactly your contemporary, more or less. And all of us were doing our MD, and we went nuts in 1983 seeing your performance in the World Cup. But even to get selected at a young age, pretty young age, 1978, you're already in the Indian team. So how did you make it? You broke into some kind of a little bit of a club because cricket was mainly a metro game, mainly a game of Delhi, Bombay, actually Bombay more than Delhi, Bangalore, etc. And you coming from relatively smaller town and not with that kind of usual background that cricketers were. Once upon a time, they were Maharajas. Then they became like a Bombay Delhi type. So you broke that and you broke into the Indian team at a young age on the sheer basis of your performance. Would you like to tell us something about your coming into the team?
I think any other kid in the country, when you talk about cricket, they may be living in a village or city or anywhere, you go and want to play. And yes, that's true. Breaking a barrier is not so easy. People can't take you so easy. You come from a different background, different thinking, but your performance keep on speaking for yourself. And I didn't have such a tough time because I was only one thing I had with me, which I used to say is the passion to play and enjoy myself. And second thing, what you said about million and billions of people are looking at when you're playing, you're not thinking that. I would ask the doctor when you're doing a heart operation, you're not thinking what his family is doing, thinking about you, and you have a responsibility. You doing your best of your ability, you're working. Same thing happened in the cricket also. If you say there is a 50,000, 80,000 people are sitting and they are praying for me or they are cheering for you, no, at that time the focus is very, very important. You just put blinkers and say, this is my, way of direction. And when you start thinking that, rest of the thing should not come in your mind. Today, what doctors going through, I would tell you one thing, doc, it's you produce heroes during this period. It's easy because in 70s we used to have army people. When the war take place, you say army people are heroes. Then it's politician come out, then film star come out, then cricketers come out, or athlete or sportsman comes out. Now, I think it's a new thing comes out. How good the police and the doctor can handle the situation. Out of that, few hero will come out. And that's where you have to say, yes, it can hit us also as a doctor. A problem can come to us. But the people who are ruthless and safe, they emerge as a superheroes. And that's what the world is all about. That somebody can be chicken sitting at home, not doing any work. It's fine. You go with that because all five fingers are not the same. But some people are like that. Doesn't matter. I will go and try to serve the people. And those are the heroes you're looking for.
Fantastic. I think that's very well put, and we're actually going right through that. We're in the middle of such a situation that you're talking about. You got fame very early. Of course, you had a debut in Pakistan, which is not the most sort of trying tour of Pakistan, 1978. But we let that go. But I think we start with the World Cup directly.
No.
You
That
don't know.
was, I won't let it go because
Okay.
78, their team was very good.
Yes.
They were extraordinary. And when you make a debut with a great team, then your ability come to know. But if you have made a debut with a weaker team and you start performing and
Yeah.
suddenly the tough team comes, then it can be difficult. So I was always says Pakistan is the most toughest period in our time.
Yes.
But I somehow enjoy that to take a challenge, and that's give me the strength. If you succeed, somebody says, put you in the sea. If you can swim, you
Yes.
are
Yes.
the best person.
Yes.
If you
Yes.
can't, you're drowned, you're
Trout.
drowned.
Trout.
So my test was a very, very much in the beginning when I played for India against Pakistan, and I was young, 18 years old kid. But it was wonderful.
Fantastic. So I think that's important because that shows your approach in life. So just before a few years before you, India was losing everything. And then came a stage when there were stalwarts who said, we will at least draw. Let's try and protect our defenses first. And then you made that shift in 1983 with your attitude and skills of going for the jugular, for going for the win, which wasn't a part of Indian cricket psyche or Indian sports psyche at that point. So tell us something about. I know you've talked about it a million times, but two things about the World Cup, whichever you think, or two or three things which are very
No,
important.
before I would say when I enter, what your first question was, when I enter the team, I come from a very smaller town. First of all, you want to make an impact to your uh, society or your fraternity, I would say that. And that was Bombay, Calcutta, Bangalore, Chennai. Uh, uh, these are the places where you want to make an impact. Once you make an impact to them, then the things start changing. And I taken only one thing is I have I have something which is a negative and positive. It sounds like negative, but I always take that as a positive thing. I taken a challenge, and if somebody says you can't do it, I heart and heart take a challenge to prove him wrong, not to
Mm-hmm.
get annoyed with that thing. And that was my strength. Somebody say you can't bowl fast, I said okay, I will try to make him prove wrong. So many things happen in my life, but I always say I'm a positive man. But this is one line I pick up from the negative side and try to be positive.
Fantastic. So I think that again is a very interesting way of looking at things, and I think it's your positivity that got you through so many situations. It's not that, I mean, you became a world star at 24, and then there were downs. I mean, it's unbelievable that you were the winning World Cup captain, and if I'm not wrong, you were deprived of the captaincy soon after that. Then again, it came back to you, and all kinds of things happened after that. So it must have been quite a feeling that you just won the World Cup for a country which was not even making it to the knockout stage, and now suddenly you are dropped 1 year later from the captaincy of the team, and then again it comes back to you. How did you deal with that?
I think one have to understand that your passion to play the game, as long as I'm playing, doesn't matter. Sometime the people who are sitting on the top, they think differently what a sportsman thinks. And to me was, as long as I'm representing the country, is bigger than being a captain also, because you are there. And the rule in our country, or what we learn from Goras or white people, is divide and rule. That's what they used to do that. And uh, I, I will be very candid and tell you on that. When they made me captain in 83, I don't think so I deserved it. There was Sunil Gavaskar, Mohindra Manath. There were so many 10 years seniors to me. But when they already made me captain, and then when they removed me captain, what your question is, then also it was wrong. When they made me captain, I was too young. When I got mature, they throw
That's
me
what I
out and bring somebody else.
thought.
You have to say that, look, that was time wrong. This is also wrong. But now, at least I'm playing for the country. That's more important. Like, you can understand, you are a CEO of a company and suddenly they say throw you out and you have no job. Then what you will do? So I was always saying, as as long as I keep on playing for my country, it will come back to me. It's uh, no way I'm not thinking positive. I was thinking positive in that manner.
Wonderful. Uh, you you also had some very interesting innings in the 90s, and I will talk about three things that I think which are my favorites about your career. About one about your fielding, one about your bowling, one about your batting. For me, the most, and you might be surprised because different people have different perceptions. Fielding, there is a no-brainer. Fielding the Vivian Richards catch, we keep watching. Even now replays. Every time there's a World Cup or something, we watch the replay of that catch when you're running away with your face away towards the crowd, and the ball is coming over your head, and you get it. So that changed the match. We all know that. Even at that point, we were in an adverse situation because if Richards was going, we couldn't have probably got them out. So that was a turner. Second for me was the fact when for your batting, there are so many things, but the one I sticks in my memory is the early 90s in England at Lords. when you hit four sixes to avoid the follow on. I mean, who in the world would ever imagine that you have 24 runs to avoid the follow on? As a commentator says, well, there's no better way to do it than hit four sixes. So, and you just did it as if it's nothing. I mean, that requires a certain courage inside which many people don't have. And for me, the bowling that I remember the most is in Australia when we got them out for 100 something, when you had a groin injury or some injury you had, and you took 5 wickets, and everyone thought match was over. I was listening to the commentary just for the sake of listening. It's already over anyway. पर आपने उसमें भी कमाल किया. ये तो मेरे फेवरेट्स है. आपके फेवरेट्स क्या हैं इन तीनों में?
I think every time you win for your country, it becomes favorite. And I would say you talk about the catch. At that very moment, I wouldn't say that is the one of the best catch I have taken. I would say that was a very important catch. It was not one of the best catch. Yes, under the circumstances, that catch become a very, very important catch. And when those type of things happen, one, why happen? When you're going to play 15 years, things going to happen on your side also. God have created all the days for you, but certain days are special days for you. And I would always look for that special day. Sometime first ball you played, and you can be always run out, and first ball you edge, and first ball, slip fielder drop a catch. You have to understand, God is on your side. You have to be more careful. So I used to look for those type of things. If indication is coming that is going to be my day, then I am more careful. And those type of things happen in my life. And I was very disturbed in Australia because to me, only one thing come in my head is fitness. I always say the fit body is very, very important. And when I got injured on the very first day, 3 days I didn't come to the ground. I was so disgusted. As a 19 years boy, you can well imagine, or 20 years old, your dream is shattered, front of you. And for 3 days, I was just icing my thigh, and I was disappointed. On last day, when it comes, and I said to Sunil Gavaskar, he was our captain, and I said, I'll come. He said, is that okay? I said, yeah, I'll come. Don't worry. I will just bowl few overs. It's okay. Then I'll see. So I bowled 3, 4 over, 5 over I bowled. Till then, I wasn't bothered about who's getting out or not. Till that first 5 overs, I was just trying to see my body is behaving okay. I don't have a pain, because when you are extra a burden you put to your body, it can crack again, or muscle can damage more. But from there, after 5th over, Sunil said to me, Kapil, take a break, you bowled by. I said, no, I'm feeling better. Now my mind is not coming on my eye, no, it's coming on the ground. Don't worry, I'm okay. I will manage. From 5th over to, I bowled 10, 12 over in a row. And after that is a history, because then I will start taking how I have to take wicket. But first 3, 4 overs, I'm just saying, I hope there should not be any more pain. I have to play next match also, test match also. And that's what it happened. And third is that 4 sixes. I still say, had I batting with the number 7 or 8, I wouldn't have tried that. When you're batting with number 11 and you have no other option, so you can be more ruthless. I was anyway, believe myself, I was a very ruthless batsman. My strike rate was during that period over 100 in test matches and over 100 in one-day matches. So I said, this is a chance where I don't let Narendra Hirwani to come this side. So I planned first 2 sixes. After that, I didn't plan. It just happened. When you are in a rhythm, it's happened. So many times it happened. So that's what it happened. And God was kind. Again, when you play for so many years, things going to happen on your side also.
So, which would you regard as your as your main low? There are periods when we go low, and sometimes you don't want to talk about it. But is there
No, no,
anything
no,
that
no,
you felt that was really a
no,
low
no,
period
no,
of your
no.
career?
The low was when the match fixing thing comes out. That was
Mm.
quite notorious. When they dropped me from the test match, it wasn't notorious. You are young and you are very angry. They dropped me for the test match. I played a stupid shot, but I played a stupid shot. It's not. I would say I given them a chance to drop me, and I always believe after that, you don't give them chance, they won't drop you. So I played a bad shot. Team lost. They depend on me. I could have saved the test match. So they want to teach me a lesson. It was fine. I never had any problem about that. But match fixing was where I said the colleague and the media and the people who are with me, they understand me much better than that. And how can for their TRP or their news making headlines, they can't do that because you are bringing somebody down who done so much. And those people who start writing and putting that, they were 100% sure then also it's not possible. But it's their a business. So later on you learn that, okay, that's their business, it doesn't matter. The worst was there when income tax raided me. That was the worst thing. I'm not saying they dropped me. Income tax raided me as I am a thief and I am a criminal. And that thing I can't forget. That my daughter was 4 years old, and they are picking up my daughter's bed and trying to see if I have money, and they are looking at car where I have put the money. And my daughter was, I got affected from that place. Like my daughter got, shattered. 4, 5 years old girl coming, home, and she don't know what happened in the house, and she's so open free bird, and suddenly don't do this, don't this, that. And we said, you house is your, you see, let me play with my daughter and see whatever. And that was a tough time. But again, you don't say every day is a Sunday. There are different days in a week, so you take it as it comes, and no hard feeling towards anybody, because I only said one thing: if I'm clear from my heart and mind, I will fight with the God also.
Fantastic, fantastic, Kapil, and that's exactly how I know you to be. And your candor is amazing, and that's what makes you so endearing to all your fans. Uh, okay, uh, what do you think was the uh, sort of best accolade you got? Of course, the World Cup, but that is your achievement, recognition, which you thought was, well, this is the one that really stays with me. I remember you talking about it. You want to say it yourself? Which was the one recognition that you
I
got that really
I
made a
I
difference?
I I always believe, Doc, the best thing ever happened to me was not picking the World Cup, but or becoming the captain. Representing the country was the biggest thing in my life. And when you come from a small town and when you've seen all this in the books and news and everything, I thought for every young kid to play for the country is the biggest thing. And that was a still cherry on the cake the day I represent country.
And I think you opened the gates, because now most Indian cricket is represented by small town, or a lot of it is represented by small town people. And I think that's sort of, you showed people it can be done. If you just keep at it, and hard work and skill and talent, and you can't keep people down then. And I
Yeah,
think
a lot of people said कि बहुत स्पारिश चलती है, partiality होती है. I would say no, because I come from a background where they don't know a meaning of cricket.
mm, mm,
And not only me, look at Dhoni, look at Harbhajan, look
yeah,
at so many
yeah,
cricketers,
yeah,
Zahir Khan,
yeah.
so many people come from UP, Harwani. I mean, these people have no a face or anything where you say कि they done extraordinary in any manner with their family. Their self ability and talent had place for the country. And that's what I always say is you don't need anybody. If you are a good and really good, just perform. Nobody can stop you. And I would say I have not opened the gate. Yes, I shown little bit, I would say, take a credit here. First time, yes, cricket gone into the smaller town and people start believing they can play for the country.
I think that applies in professionals in India also. It's quite remarkable in medicine. The medical schools and medical colleges and institutes are a great equalizer from completely different backgrounds. The only commonality is your brilliance in your field, in your entrance exam or whatever. And people from very different backgrounds study together in hostels. And I think that's an amazing thing. Many of the top doctors who you see as somewhat icons in their own fields today are actually from very humble backgrounds, and their only strength was education and working hard. So I think that's remarkable about anywhere, but especially in our country where there are so many disparities, so many inequalities, that we still are managing to do that. And that is the strength, I suppose, of the country. Last, you want to say something, please?
No.
No,
I
no, go ahead.
said the only thing is there is some people have a talent and they don't work on that.
Yes.
And some people don't have a talent, but they work very hard.
Yes.
I always appreciate people who are committed. A committed person will perform far better than talented person, because talented person will often say, of course यार मैं कर लूँगा क्या है. But जो hard working होता है, he will say नहीं मेरे को तो करना है. So there is maybe in your field also the same thing is certain people are very, very hardworking. They may not be very talented, or over the period of time, their hard work become the talent. And that's what we look into cricket.
I think that's very well said. The harder we work, the luckier we get, is what I say.
Yes.
So
And
so
another thing, like I say, like in our time, Ravi Shastri, we used to consider is no talent.
yeah,
No talent,
yeah, yeah,
honestly.
yeah.
But he was the most determined cricketer among ourselves,
Yes, yes.
because his talent was less, his commitment was 200%. Whole country could say hi, hi, but he used to go and perform. And that's where I used to say, you need committed people, not talented people.
Great observation. It really works in our field also. I mean, even if you go back to medical school, it is not necessary that the people at the top of the class are the top performers today. Some of them fall by the wayside because they're not hardworking enough, not committed enough, not. But ultimately, the ones who make it to the top are the ones who just hang in there. The ones who will make it to the top, who are working hard with the COVID patients today. They're working day in and day out. These youngsters will go on to, as you said, become stars of the future. And I think that's
Oh,
exactly.
they
Uh,
are, they are, they are, they are,
so,
they are star of the, not future. Today, if you look at in the country, time to time, different hero comes.
yeah,
Today, the doctors are not only doctors, compound and those helper. I think everybody become a
absolutely,
star, and
absolutely.
you can find out in every hospital there are certain people are much more helpful than other people, and those are the people become a superheroes.
Great. Before we sign off, I've taken a lot of your time, I know. One question about communication. Because India has diverse languages and diverse backgrounds. And, when you lead a team, or when you're part of selection, or you're the coach, you had a stint as coach also. Sometimes, did you have challenges in communication? Because, people don't understand each other's language from different states. How did you overcome that?
Oh, I think I had a big challenge in that sense, because I come from a very Hindi or Punjabi background, and cricket was played in an English background, and everything was first royalty used to play, and then Rajas, Maharajas, and top companies used to play, people who can speak English and because the game was such. And it was difficult for me in the beginning, but I think when you have a clarity in your head, then nothing is difficult. And only thing I would say that your talent is more important than anything else. Here is not you have to go and give lecture. Here you have to play and perform. And uh, cricket language, every cricketer understand whichever part of India they come from. They will understand. You don't speak English, but they will understand what's happening. They, somebody come from Tamil Nadu, he can't speak Hindi, but he will understand that. But again, I always say, love have no language. You know, when you love something, there is not need required to need the language in that. You have to love the game and then go along. You are picking up somebody's mistake, then it's a difficult thing. Then you are not you know, ready to be on that top of the list. So we always look for that, who has the passion, which is the key for every field. Even being a doctor, engineer, scientist, you have to have a passion. Second, you have a commitment from that side. If you're committed and you have a passion, I think 80%, what you said, your question is the problem about India and language. It rectify, your performance will speak. If somebody sitting with you come from Andhra, he's a doctor, I think it will take not much of a time, even though both of you can speak English, still some of the things you can express in your own language. It doesn't require that. Your performance will speak and you will come to know what he is trying to say, or he or she is trying to do.
And the last point, Kapil, before we sign off, is something that doctors are facing also today. How do you deal with all the criticism? Because everyone is an armchair expert. In cricket, I have not played cricket beyond my class, not even for school. But I would also discuss every stroke of yours, every and be very critical sometimes. And similarly for doctors now, everyone is passing judgment on their performance, and the media especially can portray you as almost as villains sometimes, and that is a big downer for somebody who's working 24/7. And then you see TV and you say, oh my god, I mean, what did I do to deserve that? So, and you face that. Every famous sportsman has faced that. How would you uh,
I think first of all, you have to understand that media is doing their job, rightly or wrongly. You do a great job, they don't talk so much. If you do one negative job, you are going to face it. And एक negative doctor can spoil the system.
yeah,
एक
of course.
negative cricketer can
uh,
spoil the system. एक negative judge can spoil the system. And one policeman can spoil. But majority of the people are doing a good job. That's okay. You have to be clear in your head. Are you doing okay? And second, good and bad come together. If today we say criticize the doctor, only thing is in our country, the one thing which I can criticize that मुझे knowledge ही नहीं हो रही भी हो क्या रहा है, and I would only go back and say doctors को भी
Communication.
knowledge नहीं है क्या हो रहा है,
uh, uh,
right?
uh,
No doctor can put finger, this is the cause
yes, yes,
problem is.
yes,
So
yes.
I think we have to understand, the common sense says that ki look, at this stage we are all expert, but even best of the best doctor don't know what the hell is happening, what exactly happening. Nobody can say because of this, and if you take this medicine you will be okay. So one can be okay, other can be a damage.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
it's a very critical, and what we did among ourselves, and we said, let's not talk about that. I'm not expert. Let the authorities come out. What I feel today, the doctors or the government should come out and give the clarity
Correct.
about the thing. You don't have to hide, don't have to keep under the carpet. You have to tell them what is the problem is that, where 30% are middle class who will understand that. But every doctor should not come out and give his gyan,
Yes.
and
Yes.
every cricketer should not come out and give the gyan. The expert are sitting, let them do the job, and the government should come out with more clarity. And in our country, it's tough for the government also when the people are not so, I would say, educated. I can say that,
Yes,
yes,
of course.
a part
Yeah.
of that. It's not education. When you are education, you have a reason to
Yeah.
understand that,
Yes.
and that's the problem. And again, uh, during this period, you will have a good name, you will have a bad name, definitely, because when a patient get okay, he will talk gaga about that. If one patient goes bad,
Yes.
you will forget the 10 good things you
Yes.
done. You
Yes.
have to listen that.
Yeah.
But again, I think we have to depend on the doctors, and we should encourage them today. And I have no doubt they will come out with the flying colors. Yes, as I said before, few people are selfish. You
Yeah.
can't
That's
help
always.
that, because
Yeah.
that's the human nature.
Yes.
Some people play cricket for themselves, some play for the team, and some play according to the situation. So you will have all kind of people, and I have no doubt today doctor coming out majority with the flying colors. But still we don't know what is this
Yeah.
problem is we are
Yeah.
facing. We don't know. I don't know if you know that we sitting and talking, we don't understand
Yeah.
this problem
Yeah.
because we can't see the problem.
Yeah. So I think that's really remarkable, couple, your understanding of this, because I deal with this every day, and the truth is that not just in COVID times, in other times also, there are many things the doctor doesn't know, and he's playing by probability, and the patient often feels that doctor knows everything, is not telling us. There's a standard sort of thing. So the truth is that definitely in difficult medical situations they will ask 10% chance, 20% chance. It's all guesswork most of the time what doctor is telling you. Similarly, in COVID times, worldwide specialists are unable to fathom the condition yet. They are learning every day, but we don't have an answer. We don't know whether it's going to stay or go away, how long it's going to stay. We don't know when the vaccine will actually come out. So we are all learning on the job. And I'm so glad that you understand this, and I'm sure there are others who do the same. That is very encouraging. That transparency is the main thing that should be encouraged, and the truth should come out, and whatever is known should be explained to the public, and it should be explained by authorities, and not that every doctor becomes an expert in every field, which has become a trend also these days, and every journalist, of course, is an expert in every field anyway. So
Authorities only, I would say, as so many people are not on the same level, they get scared. Today, like we feel, some of the deaths are not coming the right number.
yeah, yeah,
The what is the reason, they should say, is they don't want to send a panic in the country,
yes,
panic
yes,
in the state. If like I and my wife talk about that, and I said, look, at this stage, government have to encourage people. You don't want to bring their morale down and say, oh, 1,000 people died yesterday, 2,000 died day before, this, that. I said, no, it's, you have to be more, tell people, don't worry, we are with you. Sometimes you need the encourage.
yes,
What
yes,
Europe is going through, it's a different thing, because they understand what is the situation is. Our country at this stage is not ready for that, and
yes.
that is the problem coming.
Thank you, Kapil. One last word from you, whatever you like, and then I've taken a lot of your time, I know.
No, no, not
So,
at all. Talking to you is a
chatting
pleasure.
is always good, but this is
Uh,
different.
I would say my motto of my life is the passion. I like to have a passion while eating, having a coffee, or having a drink, let's put it that way. You must enjoy, have a passion about that. Not chalo kar lete hain. I never kept that attitude. It's a from my side, I can tell all the doctors or the people in your fraternity, you must have a passion what you are doing. Two type of people: one make a life out of that, one become a star out of that. So I like to be a star
Fantastic.
out of that, not to make a life. Life is God given us. We will continue doing that.
Thank you, Kapil. And I totally agree. And this is what we tell youngsters when they come to us for advice. You should become a doctor only if you have a passion for it. Do not take up medicine as a job. It won't work. You'll get frustrated very fast. But if you love your job, love the path, love the process, then it never feels tiring. You never feel, hurt, or never. You'll carry through. You'll sail through very nicely. Thank you, Kapil, very much. I really appreciate
Thank
this.
you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks.